welcome back to Big Belly Pats. Today is episode 7, and I'm with Nick, the GOAT Brown, because he's apparently the greatest of all time, and your
I'm just the
co-host.
greatest Nick. I'm the greatest Nick of all time.
That's fair. I'll give you that. That's an easy give. And I'm Dan the man. Apparently, I still can't claim that, but that's okay. But quickly, I've got to expose my good old friend here, sitting beside me in the screen, miles and miles away. So this past weekend, chilling with a few people, and we're driving to a restaurant, and someone piped up and said, "Oh, I received a message from Nick," and it's quite a funny message. So Nick apparently messaged one of our friends, and it says, "When's Dan's birthday again? Laugh out loud. I forgot the day, but I know it's this month." Ha 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 ha, the person replies. The 13th. Okay, thank fuck. I thought it was today. Laugh out loud. I thought we should begin episode 7 just by exposing Nick. Just a quick little detail of when his birthday, my birthday.
First of all, Olivia is super. See, so I shouldn't have asked Olivia to begin with because she's super shady. I told her, don't say nothing to you about this. All right. In my defense, I knew it was November, and I knew that, I don't know why, but something about the 4th, November the 4th, I was like, something is today. Something, this date sounds too familiar. Something is today. I'm missing something. So I was like, Dan's birthday is this November. I was like, oh, please don't let me tell. Just don't tell me I forgot to tell this man happy birthday or something. Look, man.
And
my memory is not. We've talked about this in previous episodes. My memory is not pristine. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. I forgot.
Yeah.
I knew his birthday. I knew the month. I knew the month. I know I'm good at months. Days, it's just a lot of days packed in one. So I'm just not, I know it's one of them. So
he at least knows when he gets paid.
I do. That I do know. I know that every month.
That's fine. It was just something I thought would be cool to start off the episode. And then quick second shout out. I just want to do a quick shout out, to a very good friend of Lucy and Nick and myself, Vicky. She keeps going around to everyone in China, well, Shenyang particularly. And every time, I think the one night we were out in Black Sheep, which is the restaurant in Shenyang, the local hangout for foreigners. And she just kept going, "Oh, have you heard Dan and Nick's new podcast? Do you know Dan has a podcast? Do you know Dan has a podcast? You need to go listen to it. Spreading the love all around to all the foreigners. And I had to take people's WeChats and give them the podcast. So shout out to Vicky. I told you I'll shout out. So
big shout out.
Send a message.
Big shout out to Vicky.
Yeah, she wants to get paid, and then that started a conversation with Olivia as well. So they were like, get us paid, and I was like, well, let's just get funds first.
Yeah, we got to get paid first before we can pay anybody else.
Agree to that.
Right now, if you think about it, we're paying for this. We had to pay for the service, and we paying for the Wi-Fi and everything that's being done now. We've paid for. There's been no return of investment.
Again, if you want to sponsor a starting out podcast, give us a shout out, please.
I'll be down. I'll sell my soul for a little bit of money.
Mugs, t-shirts, Wi-Fi, services. That's cool. It's fine. We cool.
Yeah, I told Lucy we're going to start selling bikinis because it's not a lot of material. It's very small material, and boom, we just throw BBPs on there, and summertime is ours.
That's true. It's won't the logos go quite nicely on the bikinis? It would actually.
Yeah, but they got to be big bikinis because we big belly pats, so they got to be like full one piece. Like they got to be the Chinese bikinis that's like covered. Yeah,
So,
yeah, the Chinese ones where
yeah.
they go to the beach and they wear the whole fit and it's just like one onesie of polyester. Yeah.
That's true. We could do that. We could do that. So apparently Nick went to a bonfire, and he is going to enlighten us of his first experience at a bonfire. Was it your
Yeah.
first experience at a bonfire?
Well, it wasn't my first experience at a bonfire. I've been to bonfires before, but bonfires in the US are mostly someone has a big fire out in the middle of the field somewhere. People are drinking, probably smoking. Maybe some music is going, dancing, but it's just more like a it's just like it's not an event. It's just a bonfire that you just go to and you have chairs and drinks and foods at night. It's not like, oh, it's bonfire night. So here they have bonfire night, which is I think the actual day was yesterday, so last night, bonfire, fireworks and stuff. But I went out on Saturday night because I had to work this weekend. And of course, trying to do it on a Sunday, people work on Monday. It's kind of hard to get everyone together. Excuse me for the coughs. But yeah, so we went to a like a little golf course that they turned it. They had a big bonfire on, like a driving range, and it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. It had like, granted, it was rainy, not like pouring down rain, but that annoying English rain. Which, if you've been here, if it ain't windy, it's rainy. If it's not rainy, it's windy. If it's not both, it's both. So it's yeah. And but it was cool, man. They had a big bonfire. Um, did some fireworks. Fireworks wasn't the greatest, but they were okay. But they had some fireworks. A lot of kids everywhere. Um, people know people who know me. I'm anal about my shoes, and I'm glad that I wore
Oh,
boots.
jeez, we need all. Sorry,
I
if you're
wore
watching this
boots.
episode, you just saw my reaction of his shoes.
To be fair, I haven't bought any shoes since I've been in England. When
Really?
I was,
No.
I
You're
haven't bought
lying.
any. I haven't bought any. I bought some. I got some house shoes, some Michigan maize and blue house shoes, if those
So
count.
you have not bought any pair. No, that's lies. I have to speak. I have to make sure.
No.
No.
Now, when I went to the U.S., I did buy two pair of shoes,
Okay.
but
Okay.
when I came to England, I haven't bought any.
Why is that?
And
We're moving off
the
topic to the
reason for
bonfire.
that, yeah. But we'll get back to that. The reason I haven't bought any new shoes is I still have six pair of shoes that I haven't worn yet.
Okay. See, I believe that. I believe that. When we get to the expat section, I want to tell a story about this man
Oh
and
God.
his shoes. But move on to the bonfire. You were lucky you were wearing boots. Yeah.
It's like it's wearing boots, because it was super. It was Lucy. Lucy told me to wear boots because it was already rated, and she was like, "I don't know what the ground is going to be like." So shout out to baby girl for putting me on
Oh,
game
she
for
knew.
that. Uh, yeah, she didn't like. We didn't know because she had never been to it either. It was just one of those. It's rainy, and I don't know what it's going to look like, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Which I was like, cool. So I wore some boots, super muddy. I probably clean them off later today, but it was cool, man. And so it was me, Lucy, her sister, Jenny, her sister's boyfriend Wayne, and then Jenny's two kids, Mason and Hallie Ray. And we got here with so much. Like, I think that it was starting off well. Like, they had a big fun house and some little rides for the kids and food and drinks and everything. So I thought it's gonna go well. So first, this is how quickly these kids moods. That's why when I have kids, I'm like, I can't deal with this part. Their whole moods just flipped. So first, me and Mason were running around, just chasing each other, playing around. But where we was playing at had this strip of wood, and whenever we would come to this wood part, me and him would like slow down and walk over because it was slippery. We both knew it was slippery. So we would chase each other. We get to this little wood part, we would stop, slow down, go over it, and keep running. Go back to whatever. Hallie Ray, she saw us playing, I didn't see her running over to us. And she obviously didn't know about this slippery wood. So she runs over full speed, slips, boom, hits her leg, hits her butt, her back. I heard her like try to pick her up. I could see in her face, she's done. We only been there for maybe like 5-10 minutes. She's done.
Oh,
She's
damn.
yeah, she's done. She ain't about to have no fun. She just stood up, was stood next to her mom. Rest of the day, didn't smile, didn't want to do the fun house. I was like, oh, well, that
Embarrassment.
killed her mood. Yeah.
It's not because she
And, well,
was
and plus I
sore.
know it
It's
hurt too.
Yeah, it hurts, but the hurt can go away after a few minutes. It's the
Yeah.
embarrassment, and kids, ooh, snap.
Yeah. Yeah. She's at that age. She does a lot of TikTok videos. She's like 10. I think she's 10.
Oh, I know this age
And
so wow. Ooh.
yeah,
Not
so
surprised. Not
she was
surprised.
done. She checked out. And then so we were still good. We was out on the field. Mind you, this field was like super muddy. Not like deep mud, but it was muddy. And there's kids running around everywhere. So kids are not covered in mud, but people have mud on them.
Yeah.
Mason is being a 8-year-old boy trying to pretty much play football with if you like playing or like if you're playing football without a ball, acting like you're just kicking and stuff and spinning around and stuff. He does this, slips, falls into the mud, whole legs, chest caked in mud. Mood ruined. He's done. He checked out. He didn't want to play anymore. We were just like, God. So I had fun. Lucy had fun. The adults had fun. If I could show you the pictures, man, we got some pictures we posted on Facebook. Well, Jenny, Lucy's sister, posted on Facebook, and all the adults, we're smiling, and the kids are just look miserable. I don't know, and I'm like, both of these actions are y'all fault. Like, why we gotta suffer? Because you messed up. So, but outside of that, man, it was a nice little event. I do it again. Had some fireworks going. We came back. They all crashed at our place last night. So yeah, man, it was cool. It was a solid bonfire. I had some sparklers, and I was spinning my sparkler around, trying to spell my name. I haven't used a sparkler in about at least 10 years, 10 to 12 years. That's the last time I had a sparkler.
So
I
you
have
took
another
the place of the
story.
kids.
We'll talk about another day. Yeah.
And you took the place of the kids.
I got another story. We'll talk about it another day. I think I told you before when I was in a firework war and I burned all the hair off my arm. Almost blew up my hand.
This I have not heard of. No.
We'll talk about another. It's two instances. One, I threw a firework. It blew up in my hand. Thank God I still have all my fingers, but all my hair off my arm got burned off. And then another one, someone shot a firework at me and it flew. I had a basketball jersey on and it flew in my jersey and popped. And I had like at the time I didn't have like a lot of chest hair, but it singed my chest hair. But this is just my excuse is growing up. If growing up in the hood with some ratchet kids who, this is early 2000s, we didn't have a lot of Wi-Fi and all that stuff going on. We was outside. and when you're outside, you are left to your devices. And what do they say? Idle hands are the devil's workplace or something like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
that's
bored.
That's why women will outlive us because.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Women will definitely outlive us.
Easily.
We do some.
We act now and think later. So easily. I see y'all got some. I see y'all got your first snow.
Yeah. So today is the 6th of November, and it came down. I just said it just said snow is predicted. Oh my goodness! By the time we got to school at about 7:30, 8:15, bam, snow, and it hasn't stopped. It has kept going. So we're hoping for a snow day tomorrow. Yeah, so
I seen someone posted on their WeChat and said, "Yeah, let's all post a photo of the snow as if we don't have a window."
Yeah, saw that
Because
one.
everybody's posting the same snow. I was like, yeah, y'all in the same city. We know it's
Yeah.
snow.
All I did was I take videos and I send it to my family back home, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well that's cool because they don't obviously see it the way we see it. But I mean,
Right.
my mom's sitting in Paphos, Cyprus, and her temperatures are still 30 degrees, so they ain't seeing snow anytime soon,
If at all.
if at all. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But quick
So
shout
yeah,
out.
man.
I do want to do
Mm-hmm.
another little mention before we carry on going because this is not going to be a sports podcast. We're not going to do it. We've spoken about this, but I just want to for all the people watching this, okay, it means so much to us South Africans, but we are world champions, rugby world champions, the Springboks. I'm a Bok, 4-time world champions, second team to go back and back. Man, man, oh man. And I don't even know if you'll ever listen to this. I don't think we'll ever become this famous. But shout out to Sia Kolisi, my hero, my captain.
Shout out to Sia Khaleesi, his hero,
definitely.
his captain.
Yeah. My future president of South Africa. That man's
His future
a hero.
husband.
Hold up, he's married with kids. I don't want to ruin that.
Twofer.
Oh my goodness. But yes, my shout out is done. No more. And I'm still on top of the fantasy football league, NFL fantasy. I'm going 8-1 now. Thank you.
That's all right. You're just gonna lose in the playoffs. You're gonna have all that rah get in the playoffs and choke it all away.
You heard the salt guys, and you heard the salt in his voice there. You heard the salt. Hey, me beating Don today really does help you for the playoffs because your rule kind of backfiring on our division.
What rule?
The playoff rule, the top 3 of each division, and our division has all the teams on a winning ratio, and then the other division all has one team on winning ratio, and the others all losing ratios. So you're going to have guys that are 2 and 7 going to the playoffs.
To be honest, I think that after this season, I might just bring it up again if we want to do it again next season, because I get that the top 6, yeah,
just a full
I
league.
get it. Yeah, I get it, and it makes sense. I was just like, but like me and you'd already talked about. I told everybody multiple times.
You made the rules.
Do y'all want to do this? Well, I asked people. I said, "Do y'all want to do this? Is this what everyone wants to do?" Everyone agreed.
Yeah.
No one said no. Now halfway through the season, wait! I gotta win a record. No, you agreed to this. Because I was like, I got the receipts. I got all the text messages, all the messages that shows you agreed to this. So, but I think next season, like I said, this is our second season of me running this league, and it's a keeper league, so we get to keep players from the previous season. And I think it's just one of those. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out. I'm hoping people don't get too upset that next year we can still have the same squad, the same people.
I don't see why not.
So yeah,
everyone's
I think it'll
pretty
work
much
out
on the same page.
Yeah. So,
it should be.
But I'm looking forward to the playoff. When the playoffs kick off, I think people are going to really get upset. That's what I'm waiting on.
Who's going to get upset?
I don't know. It's just one of those. I can just see it.
It's always every year. Every year, people get upset by playoffs.
Yeah.
Just not me.
It'll be fun. We'll see. The playoffs this year will determine if we have a league next year.
All right. So moving away from sport, let's move away. We are going to do another session of answering some questions. Now, during our Instagram poll, we asked our lovely followers and viewers and listeners to give us a few questions aimed at being expats. Now we're going to run a whole series going through. So look out if you're listening, if you're following, if you're watching, look out for the next set of questions that will come out. Our make sure the people get their voice heard. So the first question that I am going to aim at Nick, because I've been thinking about this question, I don't really have a aspect to it, but it actually comes from one of our top viewers and listeners. What's something you've seen in China that your family or friends didn't quite believe you about? So something that you've seen, experienced, done in China that your parents, family, friends back home have no idea, just don't believe you. Just don't believe you. What could be something that you've experienced, done, or seen?
Um, that's a good question. So let's see. I would say maybe either the I think we've talked about it before, like salary compared to cost. Let's not do that one. Uh, I would say I would say the amount of people that speak English or speak enough English to get the point across. Um, that or like the easiness of getting around once you've been in China for maybe a few months. That I think it's people back home. It's such a foreign world, and we have unless you're like really dug into it, like at least speaking from American standpoint, like we don't know too much about the daily lives of a Chinese person. We only
Yeah.
know what we don't know what American textbooks have told us. So getting there and realizing that these people, like it's so many people that even if they don't speak English, they can speak enough to tell you that they don't, or it's just the amount of people. It's just how easy it was after so long to be like, oh, okay, this is this. It wasn't too much of an entire flip. Granted, you have to get used to the culture aspect of it, but I think they're very forward thinking. It's not very. I think as far as like Chinese aspect, you don't really have to go too far out of your norm back home to feel comfortable. Granted, coming from a city perspective, I don't know about if you live into like
Yeah.
some small towns, but like there's malls everywhere. The cost of
Yeah.
everything is cheap outside of like what Shanghai and Shenzhen. The cost of everything is
Mm.
cheap. It's easy. People didn't believe that I could get good Mexican food in China. I can find good American food with not having to, stretch out to see how far I gotta go. Like in Shenyang, you can I'm not saying it's like the greatest outside of Mexico, but you can get good food from other cultures in that city. You can get good
Yeah.
Indian food. You can get good American food. You can get good African food. So I think that was one of those like people just didn't realize like, oh, I didn't know that they had that there. I'm like, yeah, bro, they have everything. People didn't realize that. I told someone that there's a Papa John's in China. People were like, Papa John's. I'm like, yes, they have. I was like,
There's Tim
so
Hortons
many
now in
times I had to tell
Shenyang.
people like, yes, yeah. I'm like, they have Papa John's, they have Domino's, they all the fast food chains that you know of outside of the local ones in your specific area, they have them. I'm like, so it's that, and I think another one is the ease of getting around. As far as the like, DDs were cheap, which DDs are pretty much
Uber.
the Chinese version of Uber. It's the same thing as Uber. Uh, but DDs are cheap. If not a DD, dude, those little the scooters. The
The
scooters are
electro
everywhere,
bikes.
man. You can hop on one of them scooters. Yeah, those
Yeah.
electric scooters, man. Or it's like a little electric motorcycle, pretty much. You could just get on that, man, go anywhere. It was just easy to get around everywhere. Um, so yeah, I think that's might be something that people just. I don't know if that they didn't believe it. It was just kind of like, oh, I had no idea that this is a thing here, and it was just kind of
Yeah.
like more mind blowing for them.
I think I agree with you the getting around aspect. So like the well, like again, it all is different perspectives in terms of cities because we've got friends that live in Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Beijing, and the cost of living is not so quite the same as in Shenyang. And I mean, if you compare taxi prices to subway prices to everything. Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen do have quite a bit of an upsale on terms of their transport costs. But when I still compare it, like my mom still can't fathom the idea when you what do you call it, when you do the exchange rate of like a taxi here, if you're traveling 10-15 minutes, it's about 10-15 kwai. I could be mistaken. And to exchange rate that, to convert it to euro where she is in Cyprus, she's like, I don't even understand how you, what is that? Like, quite funny enough, getting around today, obviously it's snowing and it's raining and it's terrible. You can't get a taxi to save your life. Bikes are hazardous. So you don't want to walk home. So for the first time, I'm really, really sorry about this, but for the first time in my 4.5 years in China, leading up to 5, I rode a bus in Shenyang. And a couple of
When was
Chinese
this?
today got onto the bus today because that was the only
Like
transport. The blue
the city
buses, the blue
bus.
bus, yeah, the city buses jumped on the bus because they take the same card as the Shenyang Metro. I jumped on the city bus today for the first time, and with Chinese colleagues and a bunch of foreign teachers because we had no transport. Some of us had to go to the subway, some of us had to go to our compound, and we got onto the bus and rode it. And I was just like, this was easy. Granted, I had no cooking clue which bus I was on or where it was going. I just follow. Yeah. But for the first time, took a bus and still got my shoes covered in snow and everyone laughing at this big giant guy walking around and a car threw ice on me or sluggish stuff on me. But it was just like you said, the ease of getting around here is crazy cool, man. It really, really is cool and easy to get around here.
Yeah, it was. It was. It's so easy. Granted, I only rode the bus one time in China, and but when I rode the bus, I didn't have it. It was like when I first got there, when I first got to Shenyang, because I had to do 2 weeks in Beijing for training, and then I
Yeah.
went to Shenyang, and getting there, I didn't know where was anything, and the lady that picked us up, she took me on a bus from our headquarters to the school that I was at in this area called Chongbai. And so I'm just with her and I'm on the bus. Like you said, I don't know nothing about this bus. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what my stop is. I'm just on the bus. And I remember she dropped me off and then she dropped me off at the school. Then fast forward after like meeting Greta and Lucy and everyone, she said, okay, she had left and she said, okay, just take the bus, the exact same bus you got on, and do the exact route opposite. And then she just
You
left.
didn't know what
So
bus.
I'm
You
standing.
had no bus.
So I so I'm standing in uh the middle of Chongbai in China. This is September. It was hot too. I don't know. I couldn't tell you where I was. I'm just tall, big old black dude looking mad confused in China. And it was like, yeah, hop on this bus. The bus sign, not in English. These buses are pulling up, they got a number. I'm just like, I don't even know where I'm at.
Sing Bidong.
So so that was the first time I think I went back into the school and I think I asked Greta and I said, yo, can you just book me a taxi back to the headquarters and I'll pay you the money? So she was like, cool. And that was the last time I rode a bus. I don't mess with buses because I rode buses back home. I rode buses back home when I was in high school and I used to work for a theme park called Six Flags. And I rode a bus again for about 6 months before I got my second car. I hate buses, man, because buses back home in the US are grimy. It be some weird people on them. Junkies be on them. They stink. I don't. City buses ain't my thing. So, and that's me personally. I don't mess with city buses. The whole time I was in China, outside of that one time, I have never rode in a bus since. Outside of like with a group of people, we rented a bus or something. But
Yeah.
no, I don't. City buses, nah, it ain't my thing. I'm proud of you though.
Yeah, it was my
I'm
first
proud of you.
experience. It was cool. Have no idea if I'll do it
You
again,
could
but
do.
yeah.
was like, you could do it. You can, if it's because it's cheap too. You could do it every day.
It's like look. There we go. So let's just do an experiment here. It's 2 kwai for the bus. Straight fare.
Mm-hmm.
Straight fare. Wherever you want to go, it's 2 kwai. How much is it? I don't even know. What's the exchange rate? Let's look at the exchange rate. I'm going to go in my exchange rate.
In the U.S., I know $1 is 7 kwai. So if it's 2 kwai, it's probably like 15 cent, 30 cent.
Yeah.
It might be a quarter. It might just be a quarter.
Let me just.
I don't even know.
Here.
2 kwai.
2 kwai.
Because back home, a bus ride, last when I was riding, it was like $1.25, which would be like probably like 10, 12 kwai.
Yeah. So 2 kwai is 28 cents in American dollars. In euros, it's 26 cents. In pounds, it's what was it? What is pounds? 22 pence. Did I say it right?
Yeah, 22p. Yeah, 22p.
22p.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Straight. Go wherever you want.
Wherever you want.
Stop. I just don't like all the stops, man. I don't like all the. I just don't like all the stops.
That was, but I mean, I wasn't walking in snow, so I wasn't really complaining.
True.
And you have company on the bus, and you can chat. It helps. Company helps with everything.
True.
All right.
True.
So
I feel it.
Now, obviously, we know we both have experienced this, and it's quite a fun one to be quite honest. Sometimes it's interesting, and it has a lot of stories to be told. But someone says, do you ever get used to people taking pictures or videos of you? Now, before we carry on with this, let's give a little bit of a backstory for our viewers, listeners, and watchers, whatever. Guys, if you come to China and you have a foreign face, outside the big cities, you are celebrity status. There's no way else to describe it, you're an alien. Imagine an alien walking around New York City. This green alien walking around. Well, probably that'll be a bit normal for New York City. But we are aliens. We really are. And everyone stops and stares. And if you're one of the lucky few, well, most of us, you've taken a photo of you. You're somewhere on someone's social media. You're part of a video. I don't know how many times Nick has been you've been called an NBA star. How many times?
Ooh,
man could have got sponsors.
The thing is, people are asking me if I played in the NBA. For those who watch the NBA, let's say Steph Curry. And if you watch an NBA game, people know who Steph Curry is, and you see Steph Curry on the court with the NBA, teams playing in a game. He looks small, right? He looks small out there. One, that's because everybody else is 6'10" and taller. Steph Curry is 6'3". All right, he's 6'3". I don't know what that is in centimeters. He's 6'3", but he looks small out there. I am 6 foot. I'm 6'2". So if I played out there, I would be a midget out there. So for context, Steph Curry, who when you see him on TV looks tiny, is taller than me. So when people ask me like, "Oh, you an NBA player?" I'm like, I'm looking you in the eye. I'm not looking down at you. I'm looking you straight on. So, but if they ask me that and I say no, their immediate next question is NFL. And sometimes I'll just say yeah or used to, just because I'm not trying to go down this whole path of questioning.
To be fair, you did play college ball, so you were.
I did play college, so yeah. But as far as they taking photos and stuff, I had so many people. Dude, I got pictures of like groups of people coming up to me wanting to take a photo with me. I have one. This guy, we were in Nanjing, another city, and because I have a sleeve, and this guy, well, my sleeve at the time my sleeve wasn't completed yet, so it was just a forearm was completed. This Chinese guy, we was at a restaurant sitting outside. This guy seen me through the window, and he had like a little forearm tattoo. He was like looking at me, showing off his forearm tattoo. So I'm like, oh yeah, hey, that's cool.
You don't know
And
how to respond.
then I don't know how to respond. Then he came outside with his friends. Came outside, asked to take a photo with me. So I'm like, oh. So he takes a photo with me, wants me to hold up my. So it's a picture of me and him holding up our arms to show off our tattoo. So cringe. He was probably like 20, showing off our tattoos. Lucy took a picture of it. It looks terrible. I had another guy at the mall.
Lucy, we need this
One
photo
of
so I can put
the
it on social media.
I have another guy at the mall. Lucy was waiting for me outside the bathroom. And so I went into the bathroom. I walked past the guy and I saw him like look at me. But I just walked past, went to the bathroom to go handle my business. This man waited for me outside the bathroom. Waited for me outside the bathroom. I come out and he was like, photo, picture. And I was like, oh, all right, man. Took a photo with this man outside the bathroom. Um, I've come across people sneaking photos when they like, because they'll hold their phone up, they'll put it up at you, but if you catch them, they're like looking around at the other stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
you in the subway, you ain't filming the inside of the subway. Like, I know what you're doing. Um, I've had people take photos, and I pull out my phone, take a photo of them. They don't like that. They don't like to be awkward
No.
back. The the Chinese people, they're very socially awkward.
Yeah,
So
and
they
you
don't.
could
Yeah,
my crazy experience was in Yunnan province. I think we were in Shangri-La by Yunnan province, so almost like towards the Tibetan mountains, Tibet, but like not too close there. But we were in the monastery, the monk monastery. Now, mind you, my beard was a bit longer at the time, and Don was there, and a whole host of people were there, and we were looking around, and I'm sitting down at a bench. All of a sudden, this old lady comes sits next to me, but like next to me, like really next to me. And next minute, there is a guy, an old man, probably her husband. They were like old people, really, really old people. And the camera, the phone is in my face. But it's not a picture, it's a video. And all of a sudden, this hand comes and strokes, both the hands are stroking my beard. And she starts singing. I don't know who has the photo of it. I think someone's got a photo of it where I'm just going.
That lady, she wanted to do some things with that beard.
I don't know. They must have thought I'm some mystical creature because the way I was being stroked, you know,
The way you was been what?
stroked on my beard. Clear. As I said, stroke guys. I'm stroking myself on the beard. Damn it. Okay, this is all in
I don't think
public.
I've ever been. I don't think I've ever been stroked by a Chinese woman before. You know, so that's an experience I haven't had.
Ooh.
But
But
yeah,
yes.
I've had pictures taken when I went to where was it at with the big Buddha, the big Buddha that's like cut into the wall that you go
Um,
on the boat. Is that
Chengdu.
Chengdu?
Chengdu.
Chengdu. And we were there, met some monks. Some monks came up, like legit monks came up, took photos with me and some people. Because at the time when I was traveling a lot, I was always going with Adam. And Adam's a big tall guy. Shout out to my boy Adam. He's in Shanghai now. But he's another big tall guy. And they was always taking photos of us. Man, it's just so many times, man. When we go and play basketball or football, because you ever notice at the end of every basketball game or football game, they want to take team photos,
Yeah.
and whoever's standing next to me has to put his arm on me. They have to get a separate photo, just me and them.
Yeah, all the
Uh,
time.
I've had people, my hair. Oh, it's talking about your beard. I've had people like think my hair was fake people ask me so many times, like, "Oh, is that your real hair?" Like, I'm like, I nothing against people who do put extensions or whatever in their hair. I'm not one of those people. It's either my hair or it's no hair. And people have, oh man, it's sometimes you get used to it. Sometimes it gets annoying. Uh,
Yeah.
Lucy can tell you, and I'm pretty sure some of our friends, Greta, Olivia, might know the beautiful white woman. Oh man, Lucy's got a bunch of photos of. I remember we was in Shanghai. The first time we went to Shanghai, we was at the Bund, and we're just at the Bund, chilling. And this lady comes up
And
to
this is a
Lucy.
very touristy
Can we? Can
place
we?
anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lady comes up to Lucy. Can we take photo? So Lucy's like, okay, yeah. She didn't know that it was going to be a mini class, and it was like 4 or 5 little girls in like full school uniforms came up and took a photo with Lucy in front of the Bund, and I'm like, yo, this is. So we many not saying like we top celebrities, but it's just in a lot of cities outside of the more like Shanghai, Shenzhen, Beijing might not be as much, but even Shenyang is a big city. Those cities that are
Yeah.
not very foreigner central, I don't know if that's the right word I'm using. You get people because you're walking around. Ideally, you look like a unicorn. You're something that the average person in that city has never seen
Exactly.
before. So, like even in Shenyang, like there's a lot of African students from different parts of Africa, you know,
Yeah.
and but I remember one time I was at, I think I was at like at a club or something, and there was like a lot of African people around, and people were coming up to me taking photos and all this stuff. And I think I asked a Chinese girl, and I was like, "I'm not the only black dude in there. Like, I know y'all doing this because I'm a black guy. Y'all haven't seen many of them walking around outside of TV. I'm not the only one in here." And then she told me, she said, "Yeah, but all of those guys over there, they're African students. We know we're used to that. We have a school that a lot of
Yeah,
African
they see
students. We're
them
used to
most of
that.
the time.
They see them." She told me, she said, she was like, when we see you, one, nothing against no one. She was like, your skin's not as dark, and that's just what they're very. I would say they're also very honest, and they don't mean it in a
Up front.
disrespectful tone. Yeah, they don't mean, and it's not in the disrespectful. It just comes from the sense of not knowing. So I've had people would tell me, "Oh, you're not as dark as them." I've had tattoo artists tell me, "I like your skin because it's not as dark." So it's not, and you just had to get past it. They're not being disrespectful. They're
Yeah.
literally just speaking on what they see. And she would tell me, she's like, "Yeah, your skin's not as dark." She told me the way you walk, and when you started talking, everyone already knew you're not from Africa. You're American. So they were like, "So we got photos with you," and I was just
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I guess." So, but yeah, those
Yeah.
places that are not very foreigner dominated, you do get the people want to take photos and videos and talk to you and sometimes give you some free stuff or whatever. Um, so yeah, man, you get used to it after a while.
Yeah, I think you do. Like, I mean, the only times I don't enjoy it is if so I work for international school and we have international students, and field trips can get quite sticky, can get quite tricky with them
Yeah.
because, like, we would be in a museum walking around, and all of a sudden the paparazzi come out because they see foreign kids, foreign teacher, what's going on, you know? So you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to protect the kids and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that, and trying to be like, okay, no photos this time. Like, you can take photos of me, I don't mind, but not of my students, please. So yeah, you do as an
Yeah.
individual. You probably get used to it. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's annoying. It's just on the day. I know some people don't really enjoy it because it's like it's almost like the stairs. Sometimes you get the stairs. I think probably the staring part can also get quite like
Yeah.
irritating. They just stare at you like you murdered someone.
Yeah.
But
But
but yeah,
but it's cool having the and I'm thankful for like some of my Chinese teachers I worked with. I know there was a few times where at Richardson, the school, uh, the learning center. Sometimes when we play with the kids, we play with them out in the front, and we had that little gate thing that they pull out
yeah,
to like section off for the kids and whatnot. So I'll be out there playing with the kids, and there's so many people, because it's still a public sidewalk,
yeah,
and there's so many people walking past, seeing me, this large black guy, this long hair, playing with all
Playing
these
with
small
kids.
Chinese kids. Mind you, the kids they don't mind at all. The kids having a good time. They don't really care. Um, but it's been so many times that I've had people like stop and just stand at that gate and watch, or like take photos. And
Yeah.
it was getting weird because I'm like, I don't know about here. Like back home, if you stand
No,
outside of
no.
a gate with some kids and taking photos, you might somebody's gonna pull up and gonna have a discussion with you.
Yeah.
That's no. And like I get it, they were taking photos of me or
Yeah.
looking at me, but it's still like it's just creepy. So it was a
It
few
is.
times that that Rita, Miss Rita, Jow Jow, they would come out there, Cece, they would come out there and like tell people like he's a
No.
teacher, he's working, keep going, keep going. It's fine. Stop. Like if you want to look, that's fine. Don't stop and stare. You can
It ain't a
stare on
movie.
your way walking past. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're not a movie
I've
house.
had a few times parents. I've had a few times parents tell people off. Like when we be playing outside and a kid might come late and the parent pulls up. I've had a few times parents are like, leave the teacher alone. He's trying to play with the kids, teach the kids, whatever. So
Yeah.
it is good when you make those connections with some people and they know, especially when you have those friends who are Chinese and they can talk more than you are. It comes beneficial a lot when they kind of know the weird stuff that you're dealing with. So they kind of be like, "Oh, I get it. Let me help you out." So I had people tell people off, to be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, he's cool. You tripping? Leave him alone. You're being weird. Don't do all these photos and pictures. If you want to say hi, that's cool, but just keep it moving, man. You're still a human at the end of the day."
Exactly. All right. Let's do the last question.
Yeah.
Last
All
question
right. What
for
we got?
the expats part. Let's see.
I'm
What
ready.
was your biggest positive and negative culture shock from your point of view? Let's do the American point of view first.
uh, all right. Yeah. The biggest positive. Let's start with good. Let's start with the good news first. The it was the biggest positive. What again? I'm sorry.
So what was your biggest positive and negative culture shock?
My biggest positive culture shock is the amount of healthy food and health conscious people a lot of times you come across, because and that's coming from an American standpoint, and anyone American knows this. If you want to buy your fast food, or ideally the food that is not good for you, it's cheap. It's cheap, cheap. McDonald's is cheap. Burger King is cheap. Takeout pizzas is cheap. It's all cheap. And that's why we get this stereotype in the US of everyone is obese and out of shape and everyone got high cholesterol and high blood pressure. That's because we're not making a lot of money, and the money that you do have to go eat, you got to go get the cheap stuff because you just don't have a lot of money to
Yeah.
go eat healthy. Yeah, vegetables and fruits and all the things you want to use to eat healthy, or go to the places that serve healthy foods, it's an uptick in price. Uh, so that was a positive interaction. Another positive interaction: no tips. I used to love not paying tips. No tips and no taxes on your goods that you buy at the store. I love that in China, if you offer someone a tip, that's it's very disrespectful. It's seen as you're telling them you're not good enough. Here's some money, go get better. So no tips, because those people they pay them a decent wage. They don't need
Yeah.
tips. So that no tips in the sales tax. Like in the US, if you go and buy, let's say this pen, you go to the store, this one pen says $1 on the little tag next to it, says $1. You take it up to the front, they scan it, it's $1.25. You're like, well, the thing says $1. Oh, well, it's the sales tax.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The
That's
sales
interesting.
tax on everything. Whenever every store you go into, if you go buy a TV, that TV says $500. Take it to the front, you scan it, You think you got $500? Boom, here's 500. Oh no 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 no! This is $508.65 sales tax. In every state, sales tax is different. So if I bought this pen in Kentucky, it was $1.25. Was a dollar, but it's $1.25. Go to California, there's $1. It might be $1.50.
Damn.
So
Okay.
it's always that's why people will say like in US, if you see something that says like, oh, this pen is $18, people will be like, man, that pen is $20. We're just so used to the tax, we just automatically round it up. Because you
Okay.
know,
All
if it says
right.
18, you're gonna need 20. You're gonna need more.
Fair enough.
So those are positive interactions. Negative interaction is the smell. The smell of China. You get nose blind.
You do. You
But
forget what fresh air is like.
the yes, the pollution, the smell. Um, you do get nose blind to it. I promise you, when you land, you're gonna go. What the fuck is that smell? What's that smell?
Everything.
And it's just
Everything.
it's everything. The sewage system is god awful. Um, like in my home, all my apartments that I had in China, I had a shower filters and sink filters. So when the water came out the shower, I bought a little product that like pretty much filters all the stuff out. And it'd be like a little white tube, and in about 1 month, that tube is black from everything it's filtered out. Same thing for when I brush my teeth. I had a filter for it, just to filter it out. So negative thing is don't. And people, I remember when we first got to China, they would tell you, do not drink the tap water.
Don't.
Chinese people don't drink the tap water. If you're going to drink it, boil it first.
That's even if it works.
Even if it works. I've had to boil it once. I've had to drink tap water boiled like one or twice before because it was like during COVID, we ran out of bottled
Same.
water. We couldn't get any. So we just drank some boiled water. But negative thing is the tap water is not, and it's not even a dig at China. You can go and ask a random Chinese person. They ain't drinking that tap water. Bottled water
Yeah.
everywhere. At
Fresh air.
Nang Fu.
Yeah. When you go back to your home country and there's fresh air, you go.
Oh.
You
It's like your lungs are virgins all over again.
It's like, woo, having a party. Well,
What
I'll
about
be
you, man?
quick.
What's a positive? Okay.
Well, I'll be quick. All right, being from South Africa, I think a lot of people will resonate with this, and not just Africans, but a lot of people. I think the safety of China is one amazing positive cultural shock here. Is just how safe China is. I know there's certain things that go around, and nowhere is perfect, but just the average person is just so safe. You can take taxis by yourself. You can go on the subway by yourself. You can walk in the street by yourself at different hours of the morning, night, whenever it is. So for me, just staying here, it's just a huge, huge motivating factor. It's just how safe it is. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid. If I had to go and walk now and get something, no problem. There is no problem.
Yeah.
There isn't a problem. 2,
You
3 o'clock in the
you could like
morning.
go in a coffee. You can go in a coffee store, have your laptop, have it out, go to the bathroom, order a coffee, go to another shop. You can come back, that laptop's still gonna be there.
Yeah. Just so safe. And
Mm-hmm.
the negative culture shock is not. It's probably dying as it is. Like the trait is probably dying, and it's not very often that you see it anywhere else. But mainly in the north is the clearing of the throat.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just put it. If I'm outside and I'm walking near plants and bushes and vegetation, I will spit if I need to spit. I'll do a quick turn and just spit into the bush. But I won't spit in the street. I won't spit in the road. I won't spit in a walkway. I won't spit in elevators where I have experienced this. But the clearing of the throat. You know when you are alone and quietly, privately brushing your teeth in the bathroom and you do a little bit of a clearing of the throat, you get all your phlegm out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, particularly in the north, in Shenyang, it is one incredible trait that could be like, every time I hear it, I was like, "Well, thank you very much for clearing your throat for us in front of everyone." It could be anyone. It could be your taxi driver, and it will be like a whole engine sign, and then it will be like, and poof, out comes this giant blob, and it will go anywhere and everywhere. It will be on the street.
And it's
They will
men and women.
and it's older generation. So mind you, our generation, as we're speaking now, our generation and younger generations don't necessarily do it. It's the really, really old people of about 50 or 60 up who have been exposed to all this pollution for many, many years. They've got, I don't know how they're alive, but that's just another story. But they clear out their lungs for everyone to hear. Everyone must know it's their time to go. And out comes this gob, and then you gotta see it. You gotta see it. It comes, and you could be standing right next to him or her, and they will just look in your direction and spit in your direction. You could be standing there, and it will not. They'll have no remorse. It is the one thing, and I spit like some people go like, "Daniel, you spit." I was like, "But I spit in the plants quietly."
Yeah.
You know, but here it's like the clearing of the lungs. It's in the morning. It sounds like you, and sometimes you could be walking, and you're just like, what was that?
Yeah. Oh boy, so many times just walking down the street, you hear that, and I'm like, yo, and then
like, what's inside?
And I'm like. And I look over and it's just some old Chinese lady just hogging up loogies. I'm like, oh. And they just spit and keep walking.
Yeah.
It just be a glob.
And it's like, it's right in front of you. It's not even hidden in the bush or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I had one old man enter the elevator. It was one day. And let me tell you, it was COVID still. It was still mid-COVID. In our elevator, I'm sitting there. Thank goodness I had my earphones in because I heard half of it. My earphones are playing. And all of a sudden I hear this, and I'm like, where's this going? Because I know now it has to exit. Man turned in. Because after I heard that one, I was like, he ain't swallowing it. And in the elevator,
where's this going?
He turns towards me and spits in the elevator. On, like, literally right next to my shoe. I almost just... There were two things I wanted to do. First of all, I wanted to get sick. Second of all, I've never wanted to hit an old man before in my life. That was the first day I was just like, I just want to hit you. That's all I wanted to do. And thank goodness he left. I was just going, get me out of this elevator, get me out of this elevator. And I got out. Never again. No, that's one of the culture shocks that's hit me quite negatively.
Man, the digging in the nose. You ever seen them do that?
Oh, with a pinky, because they got their.
Oh, I've seen them. Oh, I've seen that they don't matter. I don't matter the finger. I've seen them like in there, public, just in the, like, I get if you got something in your nose, you might need to like do a quick one. You got some toilet paper or something.
Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, get some toilet paper.
You look like you're doing something, but I'm like,
no. And that was the thing that got me. They were so self-conscious about getting COVID and all these germs and stuff, but they're still spitting everywhere. They were still digging their nose, get this booger, flick it, don't wash their hands, still going around. I'm like,
the mask
you so worried about COVID.
Mask off.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I was like, what? Why?
Yeah. Or they'll wear the mask and I see them pull it down and then cough or sneeze. I'm like, that's the point of the mask.
Exactly.
If you're going to do that, don't even wear the mask.
Yeah, you done it now.
That's just, and once again, after being there for so long, that's when you're like, the common sense ain't here. The street smarts, the street knowledge, it's not It's not where it needs to be. In the schools, they're good at the schools and the math and the science. I give it to you. Being a normal person down the street, you're still working on it.
Still working on it. Still got some years to catch up.
So yeah, man.
That it is the end of our episode. And with that comes our much coveted dad joke. Are you ready for the dad joke, Nick?
Yeah, I do. I am ready. Are you ready?
I am ready. I've been sitting on this one for a while.
All right. I have two jokes. Is that okay?
Perfect. 2 jokes is perfect.
All right. So my first joke is, which superhero is not allowed near the children?
A superhero is not allowed near the children.
The Flash. That was a gym. And to back that up, to back that up, my other joke is my girlfriend is mad at our neighbor who sunbathes naked in the backyard. Personally, I'm on the fence.
It's all right.
See
It's getting there.
that pause that you all heard after I did the joke? That was Daniel moving the mic away and just rolling with laughter.
No, don't get any ideas about that. That was just acknowledging that there was a joke said. I think I've got the joke. I think I've got a joke that's gonna. I've tested this out and it's worked. It's even cracked a few uncrackable people. So
Okay.
it's a mama joke. It's your mama. So
ooh, I love a your mama joke.
yeah. So your mama is so slow. It took her 9 months to make a joke. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a laugh from Nick, and I haven't gotten wrong yet.
The thing is, when you said it, I was thinking you were going to say something else that I've heard so many times before growing up. I thought you were going to say, your mom is so slow, it took her an hour to make minute rice. But that what you did, that was nice. I'll give you a hand. Can I clap on her?
Yes, you can.
No.
Oh, no reaction.
Okay. Yeah.
You have that fancy.
Yeah. But yeah, oh, you want to do a? Are we still going? Just a quick show catch up. Gen V ended, crazy ending. I haven't caught up on Loki. Those who haven't watched Invincible, you need to watch it. It's a great show.
Yes.
Gen V. Did you watch the last episode of Gen V?
I finished Gen V. It was dominant. The ending was like, yes, we want more. Quickly, please. I don't want to wait another year.
It pissed me off. It pissed me off.
Like there was multiple cliffhangers. Like why?
Yeah.
Why do you want me to keep jumping off cliffs here?
Yeah.
Loki's good. If you haven't seen it, get on it. Invincible season 2 started. The animation, get on it. And I have just recently started. I think it's called The Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix anime. Mm-hmm. First 25 minutes, I'm hooked. As we finish this recording, I'm going to go jump and watch a couple of those episodes. It looks really, really good.
Nice. I do also recommend on Netflix is a show called The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, you mentioned that.
It is good. We just finished it. That is each episode is good. Bodies are dropping. So
we will take that as recommendations.
I recommend it. So yeah, so we at the end of the Big Belly Pats episode. Episode Chi, right?
7.
Seven in Afrikaans.
Episode
Chi. Yep. 7 in American. And so, but yeah, appreciate you all for listening. Episode 7 dropping soon. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here, my good sir?
Just keep safe, everyone. If you're in the winter seasons coming up, keep warm. If you're in the summer seasons, enjoy the summer.
All right, you heard him. Everyone stay breezy. Wrap it up. Peace.
Cheers.